Take Wind Waker, make Link a ninja, drop him in a huge castle full of dungeons, challenge courses, and boss fights, and you have Blue Fire. Your character wakes up in some sort of chamber and breaks free. As you explore the castle, you unravel parts of the story and who you are. The story isn't anything amazing, since the core gameplay is about exploration and platforming and combat, but what little story there is intriguing. Controls are tight, which is good since you'll be platforming a lot in the game, but combat is a tricky thing. At least at first, you just can't go in there and beat the enemies like a hack and slash. There is a little bit of strategy to it, since enemies usually don't have any kickback when you hit them. So you could be attacking the enemy, but they'll still be able to hit you back anyway. To make the combat easier, there is a lock-on system that is straight out of the Legend of Zelda games. And that's the thing about this game. The entire game feels like a giant Wind Waker mod, but with much more platforming and combat like Prince of Persia, at least later on. The castle and dungeon system is exactly the same. Explore the dungeon, defeat an enemy, find a key or an upgrade to your character in a wooden chest, and then backtrack to the door that was once locked. It's totally derivative of Zelda, but it's fun. It's not amazing or anything, and the game is not as deep as you would expect from a game of this type, but it's more like a good first attempt at an action platforming game. A lot of other reviewers are saying it's a difficult game, but I didn't have much trouble with it. This isn't exactly Dark Souls here, although the game will not hold your hand, and much of the time you'll be exploring areas wondering where to go next. Now there isn't much to say about the graphics or the sound. The music is nice and it fits the world it's trying to build, but the graphics are more cel-shaded and cartoony, a la Wind Waker, so there's nothing amazing to see. The environments are generic dungeons and arenas, grassy fields, all things you've seen before, but it doesn't detract from the game. I mean, Dark Souls is the epitome of generic dungeon crawler, and people are okay with that environment. Here it's the same, but it's cel-shaded. Although the simple graphics do allow the game to be incredibly smooth and fluid with its frame rate. On PC, up to 120 frames per second, even at 4K. But with that being said, I would recommend getting the console version of the game, as the PC version crashes frequently for some reason, and it's not like you're missing anything by playing this on consoles. Thankfully, it's an okay game for the price, but I'd wait for a sale, since it does feel like an indie game and doesn't have as much polish or depth as other games in this price range.